Greetings, 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 good people. How are we? I'm excited. Welcome back to another edition of 101 Live. I'm your host, Risikat Okedeyi. I go by Kat for short. And today we are getting into the aesthetics of fashion, the feel, the lux of it, the whole amazingness of it. And who better than this beautifully named sister, Tiara Chameleon, to come in and talk to us about how we keep fly during the pandemic and just, what she's been dealing with. So, ladies and gentlemen, please meet fashion industry expert, global brand ambassador, and the owner of 1984B, which is a vintage style concept line. We're going to talk about all of that. Tiara, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello, hello.
First of all, can we talk about this look that you're giving me? I can't stand it. It's too much, Jade. It's too much. Hi.
I just want to send messages. There's no limit, and I love being black. I just wanted to come out straightforward with it.
No, okay, and we do need to talk about your haberdashery game because this hat, even the hat that I saw you the other time, we're gonna need to have a conversation. Just know that I'm gonna need you to measure my head and pull me in.
2021, I'm dropping hats.
Let's go, because this is too high. So I am super excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Just so everybody knows, full transparency, Tiara came in and saved our lives. Our original guest, Cream Latif, had an emergency. She agreed to, we're going to have her in for January, but she agreed to do now. And it's the week before my birthday, so I feel like this is an amazing gift. So, boom. And here we are. And I met Tiara when we were introduced via Aaron Abernathy. Yes. And I got the opportunity to moderate for her fashion film that she did. And so I've been rocking with her ever since. And did that happen this year or last year?
That was last year, yeah.
Okay. Because, it all runs together now. I can't tell the difference. So the first question I always ask my guests, because we are in the middle of a pandemic, is how are you doing today?
Today, literally, I'm so blessed. I'm happy. I slept good. I'm actually up in Woodstock in the mountains. I mean, you really can't wake up. Literally, I'm in New York in the mountains, and I'm in peace, and I'm like, whew.
Nice.
I woke up just feeling blessed. Every day is a new day. I feel like the pandemic has given us 10 years of life. It's like literally it's been 10 years, but every day I wake up and truly, truly, I feel blessed. I'm truly grateful, and yeah, I feel good.
I'm glad. You look good. You feel good. When did you go to Woodstock? Like I just saw you.
I literally left Friday.
Good for you. Okay. We have to talk about this. Quick getaway. I love it. So the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You had a very active life before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And anybody who was on your social media feed saw how you were bopping and popping and moving and grooving.
Yeah.
And pandemic comes and it slows all of us down. Take me back to that sort of first realization that things are slowing down, and share with us a little bit of how, because of the industry that you're in, how that was affecting you initially.
Well, I mean, for me, I was working retail, so it was just an immediate, just in March. It was March 18th to be exact. We're just done. This will be your last day. We're going to be working from home. That's just the end of it. So my first when the pandemic first hit, it was just a huge life shift and adjustment of just working from home, because my life is day to day, one-on-one live time with people. So that was a huge adjustment for me. Over the time, everyone just started to get acclimated with, okay, we're now working from home, we're remote, we're doing X, Y, and Z. But for me, as soon as it hit, the first thing that came to my mind was, I got to shoot a collection. I'm going to use this time to do what I got to do for my brand. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm going to shoot. Literally the week after getting acclimated, I shot in my kitchen a full collection, which is on my website right now. Literally, I shot in my kitchen, took the dining room table, as you know, Kat. I made it the backdrop, and it was I just literally hit the ground running. I was like, it was very unusual territory, and it was very uncertain, but I just knew I had to go hard for me at this moment, because it was just I had time. So initially, it was like a little like culture shock, so to speak, but I think it was good. It was like kind of a reset. It kind of like pushed me. It birthed something in me that that brought me to where I am today. So I'm
Mhm.
truly grateful. But it definitely hit hard because like you said, I've had a lifestyle. I was working, I was moving in a very different way. And then when everything hit, I just kind of shifted and just figured out what would work for me and just started to focus on, okay, 1984 V projects. Let's go. That was just
Right.
it. Yeah.
So what does that mean to work from home when you are in fashion retail?
So I was pretty much running the customer service line. So
Okay.
people could like live chat, any of the general managers. They could just basically go online and they could talk to us directly. So that was pretty much what I was doing full time, which is great. Though it's a little challenging because people, customer service, you're just getting yelled at all day long.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
getting yelled at. It's like, okay, wait, I'm here to give you a solution, but it's like, So it was that was pretty much my day to day. So when I wasn't doing that, I was playing in my world of vintage and figuring out what I wanted to do and
Right.
what can I do to get myself focused on the bigger picture. Even though I'm still working, that was kind of my energy in my space.
And then when we think about, one of the things that I learned, I think I think it was from a friend of mine she's a textile designer. I
Okay.
think I remember who it was. Somebody in my circle, was saying that I was wondering how like fashion would be affected because of course, a lot of fashion is about being seen and being out. And some people are creative and want to do fashion shows in their house. Other people don't, and it's a thing. But she was saying that, loungewear was probably going to see the biggest jump in sales because people were
Mm.
now home. And when I think about what you've been doing with 1984B, like you have been really rocking this sustainable, like, well, actually, let's take a step back because I don't want to assume. Can you explain what a vintage style brand is and what you do with 1984?
So basically, wherever I travel, wherever I go, I curate fashion and I put it into a collection. I put it into a pre-style collection, which is why I tell everyone I'm your style destination. I'm your style guide.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot things. I shoot it. I find the pieces. We create the color palette. We create the mood. We shop with intention. And when I get the pieces, I pretty much style them and then put them on the models. And I shoot the editorial for you to see, to hopefully get the story and to understand the characters and the vision of what I'm trying to do. It's not solely just about, oh, let's get this really cool piece and just sell it. It's not. For me, it's about the story. It's about the Black beauty. It is about the style, but I am telling the story. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much what it is. And so these are just different concepts. What you all are seeing are different concepts, different stories being told, piece by piece. And that's pretty much the breakdown of the brand. And so you're going to see more of it. You're going to see drops. The new collection is getting ready to drop. It's again a whole different story, a whole different
Mm-hmm.
vibe, and that's just it. I'm pretty
Okay.
much I'm showing that vintage can be luxury. I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing that vintage is not only sustainable and important, but it's valuable. There is value in vintage. And a lot of people, don't feel that. And so I try to channel that and educate with, with my style interests and how I move. So I think people get it, but that's pretty much what it is.
So as a consumer of your concepts, because I've seen your concepts and the fashion film was dope, was super super. I mean,
Thank you.
I go to Instagram just to see what you're gonna post next because quite frankly, I'm like, yeah, we're in a pandemic. She's not, but we are because she's out here giving you flavor and fire all the damn time. Like I was like, okay, I've literally stopped posting because I'm tired. And she's like, no, we're gonna keep posting. So walk us through as a potential client or a consumer how this translates. Because for me as a creative, I'm always thinking about how do you monetize all the things that you're able to do. So when I see your concepts, I know because I've talked to you that what you are also showing us are potential pieces that one could own.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you translate for the folks who are not familiar your stories into this look could be yours?
Great question. That's where the magic happens when you get to be in my presence, and the pandemic doesn't want us to be great. The live styling and me breaking down not only the looks but the individual pieces is really where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
Typically it's like 3 to 5. I will typically style with no less than 3 pieces, but I can maybe build and layer up to 7 or even 10. But
Mm-hmm.
it's truly breaking down each piece. If it's a you know, if I have a shirt with a sweater and then a leather jacket over it, I'm showing you that this is how I want you to wear it, but then I'm bringing value individually to each piece. But that is a conversation that I truly would love to ideally have in person, live time, as I'm, you know, taking the layers off and kind of educating you on each individual piece. It can be hard in the full story to when I'm showing the story to get really truly my message. But this is why I'm learning that I need
Right.
to share the story a little bit more clear, because people just love the photos. But I'm like, did you catch the message? Did you get the name? Did you
Yeah.
get what I was saying? Did you get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it, you know, it's challenging, but it's great to be able to take a look and bring life and educate on each individual piece. And it's really just case by case. It's style by style. It's look by look. So I don't really go in like, oh, this is it. I just know that each piece that I've curated and that has made it into my collection is a valuable piece. And if it's there for a reason.
Right.
And a lot of what I'm moving into is more unisex pieces. I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, everyone's going back to just minimal wear, less is more. Unisex is the future. Like if you can, just genderless clothing is the future. Just being
Wow.
able to have things that both men and women can wear is like a win-win. And that's something that
I've
I have
become
to teach
obsessed
myself.
with coveralls. Like
You
when
said,
you say that, like I've become obsessed with coveralls.
yeah.
Like I never thought I'd be like I'm totally here for the onesies.
Oh yeah. The you see the workerman suit, the work suit, the jumpsuit that
Yep.
I had, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I had men DMing me going in. They just needed their size. They were like, "Oh my
Yep.
gosh, this is so dope!" Like that's a whole movement in itself. And that one piece, which is historic and it has so much history to it, that's just like not only tangible for people to see, but it's so rich in its style. It's like and it's just timeless. I personally, for me, Kat, you know, for me, it's about finding those timeless pieces people can
Yep.
always wear. I,
Right.
I I love to play with clothes, but if I can get you something that you can wear for the next 5 years, when people shop, I want us to make wise investments,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what vintage can allow you to do. You can
Mm-hmm.
invest wisely in a leather jacket or a fur coat or this great pair of pants that is
Mm-hmm.
not common and it's one of a kind. So
So
that's
this
really the
brings,
story.
yeah. So I think what I love about this is that I think times we treat, for those of us who are not fashion heads, and I'm not a fashion head by church foundation, I know what I like, and I will spend money on things that I totally dig. But for me, if as long as it functions and I can move with it quickly, I'm happy.
Right.
But we tend to be very, I think the general public tend to be very dismissive of fashion.
Mm.
And when I hear, whenever, what I love about your concept and your vision is that, we are talking about, like, this is the age of resistance talk. There's a lot of conversations about resistance. Black joy is resistance, black rest is resistance.
Mm.
And when I hear you talk about investing in pieces that you can wear for 4 or 5 years, that, it to me, is a form of resistance, because fast fashion is always telling you have to be doing this quickly.
Yep.
And you're saying no. Somebody pointed out, and I thought that was a really interesting insight, that one of the things that they hate about Instagram culture now is that there is almost this ridiculous notion that you don't repeat your clothing,
Right.
that you just wear, like, you're like every day it's a brand new outfit, and it's like that's not sustainable. Like,
Right.
some things have to repeat. And
Right.
so I wonder, when you, as an influencer, as a fashion expert, um, how does social media kind of help? How do you, there's so much, how do you stand above the fray? Like, how do you get past the noise? Because what you're doing is very nuanced, I think, and very specific. So I love that I get to see it, but I often wonder, like, how can we amplify what you're doing? Because it's important work. It's curation in another way.
You know, Instagram is that thing can be tricky. That the devil is a lie. I tell you,
The
he
devil's a
is a
lie.
lie. What you see is not what it is. You know, I tell
Right,
people I post what I want you to see. That's not my life. But anyway,
right.
you know, honestly, I beat to my own drum, Cat, and that's why I think you and I rock, because that's
Hmm.
just who we are. You know, I
Hmm.
see what the noise is doing. I see what
Right.
people post, but that doesn't move me. That doesn't
Hmm.
it challenges me to be intentional when I post, to be a little more strategic in my post. Um, I've learned, if there's anything I've learned from Instagram, is that the engagement is important. So definitely
Hmm.
having a space where you can talk to your audience, whether you
Hmm.
know them or you don't, is extremely
Right,
important. Whoever you are and whatever you're
right.
selling or doing, you have to have the engagement. Um, it's challenging. I mean, for me, I'm a little poor little rich girl from Cleveland, but I'm a global citizen at heart. So
Right.
for me, Instagram is the ultimate platform where I can reach the world, and I don't have to limit myself. Okay, again, no limit. I don't have to limit myself to where I'm at. So it's fun for me. It's like a rush. It's like, okay, I can reach Japan today. I can reach Africa today. I can go to London just by a post. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But it is challenging, because at some points you do feel like you're restricted or limited, or who's going to see this, or oh, let me think, what hashtag should I post so that I can
Mm-hmm.
gain this audience. it's
Right.
it's a little bit of chess, and you have to really kind of figure out your lane. You have to figure out what works. But don't let it be your life.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is not life. It is what we do. It is a tool that you use, and the key is to learn how to make it work for you, whatever you're doing. And so I'm just
Right.
learning out how it works for me.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
here for that. So recently, you and another good friend were featured in an Essence article.
Hey now. Shout out to
Looking
Ashley
like,
McPherson. Hey girl.
shout out to Ashley McPherson
My
about how
girlie.
you all are creating community.
Yes.
Looking like new money and some more stuff. It was fantastic. Come
Come on, new money. Yes.
on,
Yes.
new money. Come on, big money, new money. Well,
My
the
bank
thing that
account
I
just
love,
felt the Holy Ghost. Woo,
no,
Jesus.
it was fantastic. What I loved about the article was you guys looked amazing. First of all, it was a stunning looking piece, but I think what I loved about it was this sort of call to action that you and Ashley have sort of taken on. Anyone doesn't know Ashley McPherson, she's an amazing creative. She deals in nightlife and bars, and she can make amazing drinks, and she's great at creating like event spaces and experiences. And so you and her together are like this 1-2 punch that I absolutely love. And I also love that in the midst of this pandemic, that these kinds of stories are actually rising to the top.
Mm.
I think it was your first Essence
Yep.
feature.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What
Thank
is
you.
that? What is that like for you? What did that feel like to see that?
Well, first of all, being a black owner of a
Mm-hmm.
black brand that is a platform of black beauty and excellence, to be featured in a black magazine was like, whoa, are you kidding me? Like
Mm-hmm.
my brand's first feature was in a black magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Drops mic. I'm done. I'm done. I was like, wait, is this happening? Somebody pinch me.
Wow.
This can't be happening. And I grew up on Essence. I grew up on
Mm-hmm.
Ebony. I grew up on Jet. I used to love Jet magazine of the week. Beauty of
Oh,
the week.
Jet magazine was the bomb. Yeah.
Right, the beauty of the week. It was like, who are we gonna see this time? Like those are the things that inspired me. So it was truly an honor. It was great. My whole thing with this whole pandemic. Bottom line, it's hard for everybody. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about, oh my gosh, it's been so hard. There's
Right.
been so many daggone blessings and silver linings, and if you can just sit still and catch it and receive it, things are happening. And so
Mm-hmm.
that happened, and I was like, well, this is really, really big for the two of us. And me and Ashley come from two different worlds, but we're using our space and our home to not only give back to our community, but to kind of push what we're doing, push our
Mm-hmm.
own agendas, but not only just one-on-one and individually, but collectively. And it's really cool.
Right.
That's what I
And
really love about it.
yeah, collaboration is everything. I love a good collaboration. So seeing you together just made my heart soar. Let's take a minute and talk through. So you are super excited and bubbly. You got all this energy, and I love it, and it's life giving. But you're not like this all the time. You have your moments of,
I'm an
and
artist and I'm sensitive about my
you can say shit.
hello.
So when we think about those times when things are not, where the silver lining is a little harder to find, when things feel really heavy, um, because you're right. When you look at the Instagram, it looks like everybody's popping, 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 popping. Like people have been like, "Girl, you out here doing?" I'm like, "Yeah," and it's trying to kill me. Like I really need to stop. It is too damn much. Like even I am like, this is a bit much. You need to come.
Okay.
You need to pull back some things. Um, I know what the gram looks like, but I'm over here, half awake, doing whatever. What is it? If you don't mind, I think it'd be great for people to get a sense of the full sense of what I mean, the full, Tiara.
Yeah.
Share with us a little bit about those times where things haven't been so great and how you've managed to find the silver lining, because it's not always easy.
Ooh,
I know. I'm in your business. That should be my new tagline. 101 Live. I'm in your business.
Well, let me take a
Sip
sip.
your
Hold on.
tea. Sip.
Go
Yes.
ahead and take a sip today. You know what?
Sip
It's
it.
as they say in DC, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Pretty much, man, it's not always what it looks like. I know
Mm-hmm.
my life. Basically, my life is it's definitely a blessing. I love everything, good or bad, that I go through, all the challenges and the blessings. But it ain't easy. And
Right.
trust them posts make it look easy, but it ain't easy.
Right.
I think the biggest, I think life shift for me. Just got to put it out there. When you come from a lifestyle of working, just lack of better terms, making six-figure salary and then literally losing your job and going back to the bare bottom of
Mm-hmm.
having nothing in a pandemic, um, yeah, if I may, shit gets real.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really real. And what you all see is me building. I'm literally making something out of nothing off
Mm-hmm.
of my just intellectual property,
Right.
skills, talents, purpose. I'm just moving. It's really hard because at times, as I've shared with you, like, the money, where's the money coming? I need the money. I got to sustain my lifestyle. What's happening? But I've realized that when I focus on that, the blessings don't come. When I
Mm.
focus on my focus and I tap into what I'm supposed to be doing, the money comes. And Kat, firsthand, like, this is like real testimony. It
Right.
happens. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think for me, I've gone through a lot of financial hardships, but I've had so many financial blessings that
Mm-hmm.
just continue to just come consistently and just pour and overflow in so many different ways. Not only monetary, but definitely monetary, because obviously that's important. But
Right.
it's so much richness surrounding the challenges financially that I have to face daily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really know how else to say. I think that's probably as blunt as I can go. It's
Mm-hmm. No, so
and
the
I'm
reason
just
I'm
I'm
asking is
building from
because,
scraps, right?
right,
I'm
it's
building from the
important.
scraps and I'm going. But it's
Yeah.
so rewarding, Kat. It's so fulfilling. Every dollar that hits my account, I truly pray over, and I'm truly grateful, because it's like, wow, I earned that. I
Mm-hmm.
worked for that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about doing what I'm doing to get that. I'm doing what
Right.
I'm doing because I'm called to do it, not
Right.
because, oh, let me get this money. It's not
Right.
my energy. That's not my focus. And if there's
Right.
anything I can share to anybody out there, do what you do, not for the money. Like, do it. I have a phrase. I didn't do what I did to get what I got. And that's just what I stick with. I do what I do because that's what resonates deep within my soul. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I can, if there's any advice, that's it. The money gonna come, it's gonna come, and it's gonna come. That's what you have to learn how to, that's the power of manifestation. That's
Mm-hmm.
when you have faith, when you have the ability to just affirm and just speak to the universe every day. Those are the choices you have and that you can make. I choose to, even in my hardships, not focus on them. I have
Mm-hmm.
moments, I slip into depression. I get extremely sad. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like, why doesn't my bank account reflect my lifestyle or my Instagram? So I
Right.
have all these challenges, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not the energy that's going to get me where I'm going. So
Right.
I'm human, and I wouldn't be human if I was just like, yep, everything is great and I'm just living this beautiful life. Hell no. It's hard, but that's making me stronger. It's making me like the resilience, the tenacity, it's so like different, Kat, and I love it. It's like,
Right.
so these are the things that I'm like, if just through my story I can share to other people, hold on, because it isn't easy, but it's so worth it. And I promise you, everything that looks so bad is about to turn into the greater good. You just gotta believe it. You truly
Mm-hmm.
gotta believe it. And that's it. That's really how I live my life. I go through things and I grow through things. Period.
I like that. I go through things and I grow through things. All right.
What's
I
today's
like
date? What was that? 12, 13, 20? Write that down. That was for
that. Okay.
free. That was a
Okay.
freebie.
I in pocket. So
And
where does faith come from?
hmm?
Where does your faith come from? How do you sustain?
My faith is, so I'm just very spiritual. I grew up in a
Mm-hmm.
Christian household, and I've been in churches all my life, and just I'm very aware of like the Buddhist practice. I know a lot of like Islam, but again, I grew up in a Christian household. Anywho, I've realized at this point in my life, it's about me being spiritually in tune and connected with not only God, but my ancestors. And
Mm-hmm.
my faith comes from tapping into that spirit, tapping into what is. And if you know
Right.
how to just sit still and tap, like, that's just what it is. It's not an, I don't need to put a name to it, you know? You'll let me say glory to God because God is the reason I stand here today. But for me, I just really think life is about, we are all gods, right? And so,
Mm. Yes.
right? Like, we're all gods. And so
Absolutely.
the more you can tap into who you truly are, then all we're doing is just being gods and sharing our love and spreading this wealth to everyone. That's
Mm-hmm.
all that I feel that we are here to do. We all have a purpose, we have a calling, we have an agenda, and you need to tap into that and figure out what that looks like and make it make sense. My faith is deeply rooted. And sometimes I call myself a radical. Like, I have radical faith. I mean, they say faith makes common sense look crazy or whatever, but whatever. I have big faith because I know my God. I know that there's no limit to what I can do. And like, society and America and the world will tell you, well, you're a little black girl, you can't do that. Or you're from Cleveland, Ohio, you can't do that. Or you're
Mm-hmm.
doing vintage, that can't be luxury. It's like, hold on, who? No, I don't
Right.
subscribe to that. I don't put limits on my God. I don't put limits on my life. I just pray, I meditate, I center myself. I, like in Woodstock right now, I love nature. I put myself in the world that I want to be in, and I just believe. I affirm and I believe, and that's my ritual. That's what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not the Sunday morning service ritual that I grew up in. It's not the same agenda. It's about being spiritually in tune. It's more
Mm-hmm.
of this moment, you know what I mean? It's about
Mm-hmm.
this and less of that, you
Right.
know? And so I don't really know how to preach that. I just try to lead by example and show everyone with what I say, with what I do, and how I move. The God greater is within me than he that is of this world. And you're gonna see God through me, period. So when someone likes what I do, I'll be like, glory to God. You like what I do? Thank you, God. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
it. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's the God within me that makes me great. And that's where I'm here and I'm able to give back. And
And what
that's how I do.
I love this. This is such a great. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Um, at what point? At what point did you realize that one that you have? Actually, let me take a step back. What constitutes for you a great sense of style?
Confidence,
Hmm.
period.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, I dress people every day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put a really dope look on somebody with zero confidence, and we both are sitting there underwhelmed. Yeah, I don't like it. You don't feel great. Boom. Okay, we're done here,
All
right?
right.
I could put a white t-shirt and jeans on somebody with the ultimate confidence, and I'm like, whoa. That's why I always tell people, as an artist, I paint people with clothes. I can't
Mm-hmm.
come into the situation just like, I'm gonna put this whole rack on you. I gotta feel your energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to experience your confidence that's gonna then motivate me to grab the next piece to then go on you. That's
Mm-hmm.
how I move, and that's where the magic happens. So for me, the best canvas is someone that walks in with confidence. If you don't have confidence or you're insecure, I'm not the stylist for you. It's just, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I can work with you on, like, when I'm like later down the road, or maybe have an intern that can help you. But I want people that know who they are and they just want to just crush it. That's
Right.
what I'm here for. Truly.
Okay. And so, when did you realize that you had not only that sort of confidence in sort of the looks you put together for yourself, but realize that you could do it for others? Like, I'm always interested because fashion is such an esoteric and subjective form. I'm always interested to find out how people realize that this was their lane.
Well, I mean, I've been in retail for 20 years, 22 years. So I mean, it was definitely around 14 years old. I was in retail, and I understood that I had a certain style, and then just working retail, I was able to share that with others. But it was truly when I was modeling, and that was in my fashion film I talked about. It was when I was the muse and I was modeling that I was then kind of recreating what the designers were doing, and I realized
Mm-hmm.
that I can I can do this style in a better light, and I don't need to be the muse or the mannequin. I need to show the style. So it was for me when I was backstage modeling that I realized nope, I'm in the wrong seat. I need to be on the other side behind the camera,
Mhm.
dressing this whole room, because that's where the power lies and that's where I'm needed. Sure, I can model. I can model. I'm not just the model. And,
Mhm.
I had to learn that I'm here to dress the world. And so, for me, it was in that moment where I think I was like, yep, this is what I have to do. I have to show people what style is. I have to show people what luxury is. I have to show what a qualitative look is, because
Mhm.
designers that I was modeling for in New York and around the world, they weren't delivering. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that was when I learned. And then again, working retail every day of work for the last 22 years, I've had a seat of being able to give that and exchange that to people just on the shop floor. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you so I remember having this really interesting conversation with Kareem Latif, oddly enough, where I was bemoaning the fact that, so I'm going to go on record and say it, I hate Gucci slides.
Same.
I do. I hate that it's black people. We spend so much money on brands, particularly European brands that have a long history, which means that in some of them they benefited off of enslavement. Others have, gone along with the fold. And, I remember seeing a steamer trunk ad from Louis Vuitton, like in the 1800s, I think mid 1800s, where the porter looked like a monkey. And I was like, really? This is what we're doing? And so I said to him, I really wish there were more well-known black luxury brands
Mm.
that we could, if you're going to spend $300 on a pair of Gucci slides, you
Why not
know,
do it in the hood?
why not? You know what I'm saying? And so I wonder, when we talk about luxury, because luxury is a thing that I like luxury. Luxury is a thing for me, but I don't necessarily want everybody to know that I bought this whatever. I don't need to be your billboard, because I'm not getting paid for that.
Right.
So when we talk about luxury, and we talk about it in the context of, and I talk about the context of blackness. So there are some really amazing African designers that I think are like head and shoulders above a lot of the things that we sort of gravitate to. Are there black brands, particularly because you deal in vintage, that we could be thinking about? Because when we think of vintage, we often go back to the Chanel's and the Vuittons and all of that. That's one of the things that often happens, is that vintage is colonized,
Mm. No.
in terms of what we put value on. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if there are black brands that you've come across, or black designers that you think kind of speak to that space of vintage, but also that space of value.
So my two favorites are one, Fear of God. Whew, they had me. It's the name for me. Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo, love, and Curbito has a brand called Pyremoss.
I
Um,
love Pyremoss.
right? And I don't know if you guys haven't go watch his fashion show. Please go watch the fashion show. He has a whole choir, black choir
Pyremoss
singing
is,
while there's a
yeah,
fashion
he's
show.
amazing.
Bruh,
That brand is amazing. Yeah.
right? Two designers that represent not only quality and black excellence, but they are changing the game. What I like about those two, aside from let's say Virgil Abloh, who has Off White, right under
Hmm.
Louis Vuitton, everyone knows
Hmm.
him.
Hmm.
These two, to me, are doing they're giving me a little bit more innovation, and they're giving a voice to the black audience, right? It's not like what they're doing is, even though it may appeal to Korea and it may appeal to Japan, it's very clear. We are black, we are bold, and we're powerful. You're gonna catch this wave today. Um,
Hmm.
that is what I love. I love it. It's unapologetically black. That's it.
Yeah.
And we don't know what that means. We don't even know what that looks like, because we're all chasing Gucci, we're chasing Louis and Prada. Da, 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 da. And it's like, no, why aren't we supporting these dope black brands that are giving you high quality clothing, details, precision, expertise? I mean, it's mind blowing when I really break them down and look at the pieces. I'm like, wow, I'm actually blown away. Like, whoa. We need to support that. And
Yeah.
because I've been blessed to work in the industry and kind of get training through my job, I now have, and working in luxury to be specific, I bring that energy to my brand. Though
Hmm.
it's vintage, though it may be thrifted, though it's curated, though it's secondhand, it still has value. My whole attitude, Kat, is if that leather jacket lasts 30 years, bruh, that is worth more value than the Saint Laurent jacket for 5,000. It's 30 years plus old. That is value, and this is, I try to educate with my pricing, with my styling, with my overall just experience. And that's what we're showing as Black leaders of this new school. It's the experience. Okay. We want you to understand we are not just slanging clothes. We want you to walk away with something. And that's what we need more of. We need more of that. And we need to support Black businesses, owners, designers. We need to change the narrative. We literally need to change it. And so I'm just, I look at Curbito and Jerry Lorenzo as like, those are like mentors to me. And though I'm taking secondhand clothing, I feel like every time I style or when I present something, it has to be at that level. Cause I need 1984 V sitting right next to their brand. Like if we were in a mall of like a luxury Black mall, we'd all be together. And I just have the vintage version. You know what I mean?
Right. And so when we talk about 1984 V, good year, by the way,
Damn.
it suggests, I think, to those who are listening, that you are looking at a specific time frame when it comes to vintage. Is that true or no?
It can be. The thing
Okay.
again, I don't put limits on my collections. It's all about the concept. I might do a 1940s inspired concept. I
Right.
might do a 1980s concept.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it's 1984 V, not only is it my birth year, but like you just quoted, it's the year, right? So many great things happened in 1984 that from Thriller to Purple Rain to just, I mean, it was the pulse of 1984. It's that heartbeat. That energy is what I want people to feel in my brand. I don't necessarily just sell 1980s vintage. I actually don't. I actually kind of make it my business not to do it. It's kind of an oxymoron. I like to focus on the 70s, the 60s, which is my love. But I'm not limited to where I can go. It's just a name. It's just a title. It's the year that it's about the heartbeat and the pulse that I bring into my concepts. And I could do any concept, any style. It could be a whole dog concept. It could be kids. It can whatever I want. That's the freedom and the liberty I have as an artist and when I play and dwell with vintage.
So when we talk about vintage clothing, one of the things that I've noticed, so I have this amazing wool cape coat that's a 1950s cape coat that I spent a lot of money on. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. You can only wear it like 2 months out of the year, but I still love it because it's just a beautiful coat. Sizing is an issue. And so when we think about vintage, I think sometimes, at least for me, vintage when it comes to clothing often means that for someone like my size, I'm stuck sort of in the 60s because polyester was kind to everyone. But if I love the styling of the 20s and the 40s, it's a little harder. So how do you account? Like, how do you manage the sizing piece in terms of your collections, and also because we know that oftentimes, and I've talked to designers who basically explain that the reason that models are sized the way they are is because it's just cheaper, in terms of couture and all of that to make a dress for a size 2 than it is to make for a size 12. But when we're talking vintage, it's a different sort of issue altogether because you're sourcing pieces. How hard is it to find pieces for like what I would call average size bodies?
It is challenging, extremely challenging. However, I always tell my audience and the people that get that one-on-one time with me, I shop style, I don't shop sizes. So my brand is a style destination, a guide, so to speak, to show you the style. Let's say if I had pleated skirts in a size 2, well, I could show you how to style this pleated skirt in a size 2. You could be a size 14. But here's the thing, you can now book me as your stylist and I can go personally shop and get you a pleated skirt in your size because this concept and this collection was just a reference point.
Okay.
If you can fit something in my collection, go ahead and buy it. I am going to in 2021 and beyond be more intentional with having more variations of sizing. Because again, I when I move and I'm curating, my eye is just silhouettes, color palettes, and what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at the tag for is this a 16, is this a 2? I just need to find what I find and I sell it. That's it.
Right.
The solution to that is I will have a collection one day that I'm going to design because yes, it is challenging to fulfill everyone's needs with vintage. They see some of the pieces I want, and a lot of the reasons why I don't make sales is because it's just not their size.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple. It's just not their size, and I can't. How do you can't combat that? It's like I can
Right.
just go back to the chopping board and try to go find you something, but I can't guarantee it's going to be exactly what you see, exactly the way you want it. So that is a challenge, and that's why I do want to eventually design my own collection where I can alleviate that problem. And as a Black woman and having full figured a mother, sister, family, I'm going to. For me, you're not a designer if you can't make a full collection that goes up to like 18, 22, or whatever. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
only doing a 2 to 10, you can't really call yourself a designer. Like, and that's a lot of what New York Fashion Week looks like. It's like the 0 to 8. Like, and that's
Right.
just very limiting. So vintage is one thing, and I always educate my people like this is just what it is. This is literally a beaded shirt and it's a size 4. Don't hold me, hold me to it. It's just a style. But on
Right.
Tuesday, I'll go find you 3 more in your
Right.
size.
Right.
But yeah, I as a one day I will have a collection that will cater to my beautiful Black women, and our full figures and our curves and all of our essence. Yes, I will have that one day. Mark my words.
I trust you. I trust you. I think now one of the things that I do see a lot of, because we're now wearing masks when we're out, so we're not being able to show our full faces, and so some of the ways that we are adjusting for the times, like include hats and I sweatshirts and messaging has become a big part of clothing. When we're thinking vintage, though, we're thinking of something that you think brings value that's held up over time. What are some of the things that you're seeing now that you think maybe 10, 20 years ago from now will actually still have resonance?
Just in general,
Mhm.
in fashion, um, like denim, like
Okay.
denim is just always just gonna be there. Like a good pair of Levi denim, you can't go wrong. Men or women, old, young, rich, poor, denim. Um, my upcoming collection has a lot of leather in it. I mean, when
Mhm.
you can find a solid leather, you really, really, really have like come up. I
Mhm.
think that no matter the season, no matter what, the leather jackets are really going to take over. You can travel with leather. You don't have to worry about wrinkles. It ages well. It just molds to your body. Leather is probably one of the top things that I see or that I could say in that leather denim. I mean, there's so many things. I don't know. I think those would be the best, I guess. Leather and
Okay.
denim. I guess
And
just
if people are looking in, when we think about vintage, we're also thinking classic things that you can use over and over again that kind of fit across, several circumstances. Um, and I know you and I talked about you have this service where you go to people's closets and you kind of assess
Yep. Wardrobe assessing. Yep.
wardrobe assessing. Talk to me about wardrobe assessing and why might maybe now be a good time to assess your wardrobe.
Wardrobe assessing is pretty much me pulling up to your closet. I need to get a full overview of what that looks like. And we're going to go through and purge. We're going to go through and figure out what are you wearing? What do you need? What do you need to eliminate? What do you need to donate? What do
Mhm.
you maybe want to take to a consignment shop? I will come in and help you do that. Then I will organize your closet from like the way mine is. I like a color assortment. I like sometimes all my jackets together. Whatever you want, I will make it very organized for you so that when you wake up in the morning, you have the pieces you want in your closet. They are where you want them. They're easy to find, and you can go straight to it. But all of that comes with a consultation. So I have to sit down and understand who you are because I'm not going to just come in and be like, every closet gets done like this. No, that's not what I do. Everybody wants what they want. I'm just here to be the solution. I'm the solution to the problem. So if your wardrobe is dysfunctional, unorganized, you just don't even know what to do, I'm going to come in and make it make sense. Then from there, we're going to book me for the next service. Hey, personal shopping. I now know what I need to go and buy for you because you didn't have a little black dress in your wardrobe. You didn't
Mhm.
have that black pencil skirt you needed. You don't have a denim jacket. Simple things that once I see your wardrobe and I know you, I then can now shop with intention,
Mhm.
and be your personal shopper. And now we can build a healthy and effective wardrobe. My goal, pandemic or not, is I think that we need to build healthy wardrobes. And
Mm.
right now everyone's they're buying, everyone's shopping like at an all-time high right now. Everyone's shopping, Amazon, whatever. But no one has anywhere to wear these things, right? What are you doing with all this stuff that you're buying? This is the perfect time for me to hit your wardrobe and help you figure out looks, help you figure out organization, and get your life in order. Now, the goal in 2021 is to do all this virtually, right? I could do this for girls in Japan and Africa, London, it doesn't matter. Again, no limit. Because I can't really come to people's houses right now. So though
Right.
that's something I've done and I am doing very case by case, it's very minimal live time. I think it's something that could be cool virtually. Why not just book me and I can come to your closet and we can have a fun day. But my thing is, as a curator and the daughter of a hoarder, I don't like to hoard things. You know,
Right.
I want to curate things, and it's always quality over quantity for me. I think a lot of us have so many items in our closet. It's like, what are you doing with it? You're just sitting on it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like give that away, give that back, donate it. There's no need to sit on things that you're not wearing. And so
Right.
I educate my clients that what constitutes as a healthy wardrobe are having pieces you want to wear, having
Mm.
pieces that you love that make you feel good. Okay. That's what I do. I'm the solution to the problem. I'm gonna dress you, I'm gonna style you, I'm gonna get your wardrobe together. Equals you're gonna go do good and produce great results. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the science behind what I do.
I love the idea of a healthy wardrobe because now I'm sitting here thinking about all the things that are sitting in my closet that I haven't worn. Either because, I used to wear them a lot and now just I don't. I moved into other directions. And, what that could actually look like in terms of somebody else using it. Like, I don't like clothes to sit. I agree. There's an energy to things just sitting. And now I'm wondering if I need to have you come look in my closet.
Yep. Yep. We can do that.
And, the other piece is that, one of the things that I think the pandemic is also showing up for us is that this is an opportunity to shift our style, to try some things that maybe we didn't want to try, or we hadn't thought to try before. And I've been doing readings for people, and a lot of people's ancestors are tired of. They're like, we don't want to see any more jogging pants. We don't want to see any more elastic bands. We are so sick of these things. Like, we need people to dress like you have some sense. And so there is this call to aestheticize and to really think about. Like, I've been getting up lately and being very intentional about what I'm going to wear in a way that I wasn't before the pandemic.
I
You
love
know,
that.
so there has become like I'm doing, mustard and ketchup today because I felt like, this red. I have this T-shirt by In and Out called "The Future is Female in Black," and I was like, you know,
Woo!
yeah, it's super cute.
Yes. Message, ladies
Yes,
and
it's
gentlemen.
super cute.
The future
And
is
so,
female and black.
yes, and so I was like, you know what, I'm rocking this today. And I hate anything on my neck, so I cut the collar. I'll probably cut it some more. And so when I think about readjusting or recalibrating style, I do think there is something to be said to have a coach, someone who can say, you know, this looks good on you. Because, I don't know that we know our bodies in the way that we should. And because of the way, particularly social media has dressed folks, like everyone has these similar body types now, these sort of build a bear type body types that I don't understand. And it's just like, it's so weird. I was like, you realize you all look alike now. Like nobody,
Right.
like everybody has the same body type, and I don't understand it. Um, so when I think about the noise and I think about how hard it is to be heard amidst all of that, I do appreciate what you're doing because you're giving us a sense of whimsy in a lot of ways. And I realized that my biggest mistake was that I did not pull pictures. So what I'm going to do is I will make sure, well, in the description, your IG link is there, but for the Facebook crew, I'm going to pull some pictures and put them on that post because I just think I love what I see with what you're doing. Can you talk to us a little bit about because you style and you also direct your photo shoots?
Mhm. Yes.
What does that look like? The process of like, what by the time we see it, how many hours, days, weeks has gone into that production?
Whew. Well, before you guys see that photo, I have started from, I'm old school. So I've started
Mhm.
from magazine tear sheets and I'm creating my mood board. My very first point is what are the colors that I want to play in? It's all
Right.
about my color palette. Are we doing black and white, which is my upcoming collection? Or am I going to go falls? Or do we want to do, lilac or lavender, pastels? Who knows? I define the color. I create the mood board, which I use anything. It could be fabric. It could be a tear sheet from a magazine. It could be a piece of clothing. It could be a shoe. It might be my hat. It could be a piece of jewelry. I figure out the mood. Even music plays into it, because when I'm setting the mood, I have to get into the mood before I can even go and find the clothes. After I set the mood board, and me and my photographer, I've shared with my photographer, because that's my partner in this vision. He has to understand what I'm trying to share. Once he gets the concept, then I can hit the ground running and I go find the pieces. When I curate wherever I'm at in the world, and wherever I'm at, I shop and curate with intention. I literally walk in. I know I'm looking for this silhouette. I'm looking for these colors. I'm looking for these pieces. I literally walk in there. I say prayers before I do it. And when I say pieces just find me, the pieces find me. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Then I have to have a private moment with just becoming one with the piece. I have to break the piece down. I have to understand, is there a hole in it? It's vintage. Is there a stain on it? Is there something? Are there any imperfections? So I have to do my little damage control with the actual every single piece. I have to do damage control. Right. From there, I go into the fitting. I have to fit my models. I have to see how this looks on the body. I try a lot of my pieces on, but I have to see it on someone else. So once I put it on the body, I have my mood board, I have my concept. What you all see is always, for me, it is live styling. I don't go and create these looks like I want a skirt with a belt, and I just have my pieces that I strategically bought based off my mood board. And then the magic and the gift from God is the lifetime styling. So that is what you are buying. That is the magic. It's the style. That's why it's a style brand.
I love it.
So it's a lot. There's a lot of production that goes into it. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of support. It's a lot of lighting. It's a lot of, oh, this wasn't the right day, or this didn't come out right. We got to reshoot it, because if it doesn't come out the way that we envision, it's not right. And so when we say we're artists and we're sensitive about our what we're saying is we're going to keep going until we get it right.
Right.
Before, when you guys see it and you guys are like, whoa, that's dope. And it's already been so many people that have seen and that have understood the vision and have helped make that vision come to life. Thank you for understanding the story and appreciating the overall end result. But it definitely wasn't easy to get to that point. It took a lot of people to get there.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm thankful that you continue to do it. How has the pandemic affected this whole idea of getting together? I mean, what does that look like? Is there,
It's challenging because, on set, models were all masked up. We're behind the scenes with masks. There's moments where obviously I'm shooting and I need you to take your mask off. So it's like, it can be awkward. It can be weird, but the show must go on. It's just, you just have to adapt. I'm a chameleon. That's what I do. I adapt with the times. So I'm going to do it, but it is not easy. It makes it that much more challenging and that much more harder for me and my photographer to really capture what we need, because there's so many things that, okay, wait, she needs to be 6 feet. She needs to be this. And it's like, it interrupts the magic. It interrupts the creative. But we also just can't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. So we know what we're dealing with. Let's just push through and let's just do and move how we have to. But it's definitely brought a lot of challenges, to say the least.
Well, you seemingly are overcoming them. So I'm like, pandemic. What pandemic?
Pandemic who?
Pandemic who? Panacea. There's this whole thing on Twitter where people apparently have been saying pandemic wrong or using the wrong word for pandemic, and it's just hilarious. The last question I usually ask everyone, so I have a question that I open and I close with, is in the future, sometime soon, hopefully, we are able to kind of be back out in the world. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Travel.
Okay.
Period. Yep. That's the biggest thing for me. What will make my concepts and my brand greater is for me to travel.
I agree.
My favorite phrase, quoted by Rick Ross, the great Rick Ross: the more that my feet travel, the more that I feel fly.
I love it.
The whole thing. It's a vibe.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Tiara Chameleon. Thank you.
I do. I would like to reveal right now live the name
Tell me.
of my upcoming collection.
What's the name? Oh, you decided. What's the name?
So it's called the Black Bandits.
Nice.
And why it's called that, I just want to let everybody know. I made a collection for the times. It is black and white. It is good meets bad. It's light versus dark. It's all the things that we're going through. It's a pandemic. Oh, we're all going through these hard times. But that little bit of light, that little bit of silver lining is getting us all through. And I've taken that literal translation and I've put it into a collection so that you all can see. There's lots of leather, there's velvets, there's black, white, there's silk, there's lace. It's sexy, it's hard, it's almost like they're a band. It's like they're the bandits, they're the Black Bandits. So
I love it.
I hope you guys enjoy what you're
when
about to see.
When is it coming out? When will it be ready for public consumption?
I don't know yet. You know, the answers ain't giving me a date yet.
You don't tease us and then be like, I don't know when it's coming.
I will say this. I'm leaning on a strong end of the year drop. I just don't know the date.
Okay.
It might be New Year's. It might be Christmas. It might be New Year's Day. I don't know. It's coming soon. Yeah, it's coming soon. I'm super excited. I do have my pop-up coming up where I might have some of those pieces available for those local in DC. Pull up. RSVP.
When's the pop-up?
The pop-up is Friday at the Funk Friday coming up. I got this dope private location we're doing it at. Different from those that have come to any other Funk Friday. It's about to be lit. Follow my story. I'll be posting all week of how to RSVP, and we're going to release the address and the location the day of on Friday at noon. So you got to follow me. You got to stay in tune. You got to know, because it's one of those moments. If you know, you know. And if you're down, if you catch it, you can come. It's a huge space. Socially distant, we'll be safe. It's dope. There's 3 Black female vendors. They're all gonna have vintage. We're about to take over. And yes, the future is Black and female. That was a great shirt.
You know, it felt appropriate for today. So I was like, you know what? This is the shirt for today. Thank you so very, very much. I'm extremely proud of you. I am like so excited for what's about to come. I can't wait to see what the Black Bandit looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I want to be featured in one of your collections.
Let's go. Come on, 2021. I would love that. Oh my gosh, yes. And just for the record, yes. I don't even shoot signed models. Just everybody, I shoot normal folk. I make them look like models. Right. Around the way girls are my canvases I like to play with. You just be a normal person, I'm gonna shoot you. You know why? Because your story matters. The girls that are signed, they good. They good. Right. Now, I need the girl that doesn't even know that she has an opportunity to take over the world and be a top model. I want to make her feel like that. Okay. That's what I do. So
I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tiara. This has been so much fun. As always, you look amazing. You never disappoint. Them beads are giving me life, and that hat, I want it so very much.
I'll be designing some in 2021.
Well, no, I need you to measure my head so that we're clear that, you know, I have my own. Couple things. Next week is my birthday, the 20th. Okay. So the one-on-one that we're going to be doing next week is going to be hosted by Amina Carter. I will be the guest, and we are going to be releasing today a link where you can submit questions. So you can ask me anything. Okay. So much like Jada Pinkett, I'm bringing myself to my own table, except there are no entanglements.
No entanglements.
No entanglements.
Message.
And on that note, thank you all so much for listening. This has been so much fun, Tiara. I appreciate you so much. Please follow her at Tiara Chameleon, and also 1984v.co. It's .co, not .com. Please go check out her site. It's amazing. Your film is there too, right? The fashion film is there?
I haven't put it on there yet, but it's on my, you can follow my IG page, or you can, you know, 1984.
So yeah, follow the IG page, go look at the film. This is an amazing artist. And I see you, Tony Blackman and Fern and Hadia watching. I appreciate you. Get the sisters bad. Y'all need to get with it. I see collaboration. So let's make this happen for the 2021. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone for watching. I will see you next week. I'm out because this culture ain't gonna make itself. And I am taking all manner of gifts. So I will let you know where you can send your gifts for my birthday, because I take my birthday very seriously. On that note, see you all later.
Bye, boo.